In my astronomy class in college, my professor, one of the things he talked about is he said, "Hey, look, we know the speed of light. We really do. We're not guessing. We actually know it, because we've actually done experiments where we've tracked the difference in time from light shining here on this hill to light shining over here on this hill and seeing it. And so we know very much the speed of light. And because we know the speed of light, and because we can do geometry and we can triangulate things, we can actually determine more or less how far away stars are. Um, and so when we say that a star is like, 100 light years away or whatever, we know that that means that it has taken 100 light years, which is a long time, for that light to get to us. And one of the problems that you'll run into when you're talking about young Earth creationism, especially, is that it seems as though the universe looks a lot older than it is. If you're a young Earth creationist, if you believe the universe is 6,000 years old, it looks way older. And not in just like we're guessing, but in really like mathematical terms. Our understanding, for example, of light and its speed and the effects of gravity, say, on light, is very sophisticated. Back in the day, Einstein had this incredible prediction. He said, if you have an eclipse, we'll actually be able to see the light bending; it'll move. And then there was an eclipse, a bunch of years later, and what he predicted happening actually happened. So we really do have a very sophisticated view and understanding of, say, how light works and how quickly it moves and where it comes from and all that. The fact of the matter is, if you're a young Earth creationist, you have to come to some kind of account for how it is the case that the universe is only 6,000 years old, but we have light that we're seeing that should have taken, millions of years to get to us. That's a big problem. And one way that people have said is, they said, well, maybe God built the universe to look old. He built age into it, built history into it, which is an interesting view, and it's totally possible. I'm not knocking it, but you do have to ask a question. If that's the case, if that's what happened, then there might even be a sense that in some ways God has tricked us, and that might be a problem. If God is not trying to hide himself, if God is trying to reveal his nature, then it would seem that what we learn about the world around us should accurately reflect that nature and character. And I'm not saying that a young Earth creationist can't come up with a way to deal with that question, but we all have to agree that that's the case. We have to agree that God's not trying to trick us. That when we investigate the world, the book of nature and the book of Revelation, that both are going to not exhaustively perhaps, but at least accurately, at least by analogy, they've got to be aiming us in a direction towards the truth. And as long as we can agree on that, I think we're going to be okay.